Let's go. The lodge. We're coming.
What's up, guys? We're here at Round Rock at our favorite barbecue place. Unfortunately, the first bad beat of the trip. It's closed Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, we went straight from the airport to the hotel, then here, and yeah, now it's closed. We have to look for something else. Yeah, and then straight to the grind. Yeah, see you. Everything is bigger in Texas. Today we arrived here in Round Rock, Texas. We just played our first session. It's 2 a.m. right now. Today I only played Holdem, but tables were very good. Unfortunately, I was pretty card dead, so I had to fold the session. Yeah, most of my hands. But I had one good hand. I had pocket fives, and I flopped a set, and I got a clean double up for 2K pot around about. And yes, that was pretty good. Yes, I won about $200 today. In the first interesting hand of the session, I pick up Ace, Ace, Jack 10 and raise it up to 30. And of course, with such a strong hand, you want to get the money in pre-flop. So best thing is another 3-bet. And yeah, it happens. A guy behind me re-raises to 90 and all the other guys go out of the way. And I go all in for his 325. And yeah, now we're off to a run out. And the flop looks good. It's a pair pot, so yeah. Of course, we're not safe. And 2 kings on the turn and the river. And yeah, luckily he maxed his hand, and we win this one this time.
That one's gonna make the vlog for sure.
I think so, yes.
In the next hand, we pick up Ace, King, Jack 7 single suited on the button. And this time we have a live straddle to 10, a few limpers in front of me, and I decide to overlimp the $10. Usually I would open raise this hand, but there were a few short stacks. So I decided to keep more money in the stack in position. And yeah, we were 5-way to the flop of King 7-5 rainbow. We flop top 2 pair here. We see 1 check and a bet of 30. It folds to me and I call. The other player calls as well. So we are 3-way to the turn, which is a beautiful 7. So the only hand that beats me is pocket kings now. The one guy checks, and now the aggressor c-bets 125. I have a straightforward call here in position, in my opinion, and I do that. The other guy goes out of the way, and on the river we see a 5. So now pocket 5 beats me, which is possible but unlikely, and my opponent, after 30 seconds of thinking, bets 150 with maybe 250 behind. And I decide to just call here because I don't think there are many worse hands that pay me off. You could also go all in. I think it's close. And I win against the king 10 8-4. So yeah, he tried to bluff me with a king blocker, and yeah, I win this one. In this hand, I buy the button and look down at ace, king, queen 5 single suited. There are two limpers in front of me, and I decide to raise to 30. Both of them call, and we head to a flop of ace, jack 9 rainbow, which is very good for my range. So I c-bet 75. The first player folds, and the second player calls. The turn is the amazing 10 of diamonds, which brings me the absolute nuts, and also is kind of concealed that I have king queen here. I don't have it very often. So I decide to set the trap and hopefully let my opponent bluff. But unfortunately, he checks back, and we see a deuce of clubs on the river. At least it's a blank. And yeah, I follow through with my plan and decided to check once again. And yeah, he checked back the river. He showed the jack 8 6 3 for just a pair of jacks, and I think he should have bluffed this hand, but doesn't matter. I won this hand, but only a small pot. In the next one, I sit in the hijack and look down at king jack 10 8 single suited. There's one raiser in front of me and one caller. I decide to call as well for 15, and we are 5-way to the flop of jack 10 7 rainbow, which looks good for my hand. There are two checks in front of me, and I decide to check as well, as we are 5-way. And one guy in position bets full pot 80. One guy to my right calls, and I decide to make a tight fold here that probably most players would not make. But yeah, because he bet full pot 5-way, yeah, I don't think this hand is strong enough. In this hand, I'm under the gun and look down at king king deuce deuce single suited. Of course, I open raise to 15 and get 6 callers. Yes, this table was quite good. And we see a flop of queen 7-5 two-toned with a flush draw for us. But because we are so many players, I decide to check. And it checks all the way to the button, who is a short stack, and jams all in for 80 bucks, which I decide to call. And player behind me calls as well. So we have an interesting spot here with a dry side pot. The turn brings me the flush with the 6 of spades. And yeah, because there is no side pot, I decide to check, which is quite standard. The player in position checks back. The river pairs the board and brings in another 6, at which point I decide to go for a very thin value and bet 100 to get a crying call from a lower flush or a straight. He raised to 300, and at this point I have quite an easy fold. And he had a set of 7s that he didn't raise the flop with. And yeah, that's the hand. I lost it, but yeah, that happens. In this hand, I pick up king jack 10 6 single suited on the button and decide to call an open raise. We are 5-way to a flop of ace queen deuce. We flop a wrap, but there is the flush draw that we don't have. Yeah, so we only have 6 outs to the nuts and 9 outs to the straight. And the original aggressor c-bets 75 into 100. The player to my right calls, and I decide to make a very loose call here on the button. The main problem is that even if we hit one of our 6 outs, then the river can still bring in the flush or pair the board, which would be bad. And yeah, this is why it's very loose, probably maybe even losing. Yeah, we are 3-way to the turn, which comes in offsuit 8 and brings me 4 additional outs, 3 of which are to the nuts. And yeah, now the original aggressor c-bets 325 full pot. The other player folds, and here, yeah, Timo and I think that it's a very close decision, and I decided in game to fold, but a call is perfectly fine as well. I would have to bluff on a flush completing card as well if he checks to me. But yeah, I avoided that spot and yeah, folded. In the last interesting hand of the session, I pick up ace ace jack 7 and 3-bet an under the gun opener to 65. We get 2 cold callers and 1 short stack jams all in. The original razor goes out of the way, and of course this is a great scenario, also very easy to play. I just go over the top, the two cold collars they fold, and yeah, we have an all-in scenario here in likely the last big hand of the night. And 3/4 looks very good, and indeed, yeah, my opponent shows a losing hand, and yeah, I win this one, and yeah, feels good to win the last hand of the session.
He's returning it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, how's it going?
Hi.
1925. Here you are.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a good one.
At the end of the session, I booked a win of $645, and I'm very happy with that result. I didn't play any huge pots today, but that's fine. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, now the first day is over, and we will go to sleep now.
I played Holdem today, so not much to report. One of my Heavy sowas los. Heavy so muss es. We played our first session. It's now 2 a.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning. Hey guys, today we arrived here in Texas. Mach nochmal neu.